Okay. You're seeing my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Still seeing. Okay. Why I'm not seeing it? Something happening here. Okay, so here we can see it now. Okay, so we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 2, verse number, chapter 2, verse
53.
number 53. So if you can repeat after me, that'd be nice. Virad Hiranya Garbhascha
Hiranya Garbhascha
Karanam Chedi Ubadhyaha
Karanam Cheti Upadhyaha
Ishaya Yatraburhinam
Yasha Yatri Bihinam
Turyam Tat Prajakshate
Turyam Tat Prachakshate
Virad Hiranya Garbhascha
Virat Hiranya Garbhascha
Karanam Chedi Ubadhyaha
Karanam Cheti Upadhyaha
Ishaya Yatraburhinam
Isha Yatra Bihinam
Turyam Tat Prajaksade.
Turyam Tat Prajakshate.
Synonyms: Virat, the Virat manifestation.
The Virat manifestation.
Hiranyagarbha,
Hiranya Garbha.
the Hiranyagarbha manifestation.
Hiranya Garbha manifestation.
Cha,
Cha.
and Karanam,
Karanam.
the Karana manifestation.
Karana manifestation.
Cha,
Cha.
and Iti,
Iti.
thus. Ubadayaha,
Upadhayaha.
particular designations.
Particular designation.
Ishaya,
Ishaya.
of the Lord.
Of the Lord.
Yat,
Yat.
that which.
That which.
Tribihi,
Tribihi.
these three.
These three.
Hinam,
Hinam.
without. Turiyam,
Turyam.
the fourth.
The fourth.
Tat,
That.
Prajakshate,
Prachakshate.
is considered.
Is considered.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Translation, please repeat after me. In the material world, Lord is designated
The Lord is designated
as Virat, Hiranyagarbha,
Hiranyagarbha
and Karana.
and Karana.
But beyond these three designations,
the
Lord is ultimately in the fourth dimension. Perfect. Virat, the phenomenal manifestation of the supreme whole, Hiranyagarbha, the numinous soul of everything, and Karana, the cause or causal nature, are all but designations of the Purushas, who are responsible for material creation. The transcendental position surpasses these designations and is therefore called the position of the fourth dimension. This is a quotation from Sridhara Swami's commentary on the 11th canto, 15th chapter, verse 16 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmudamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Supadandigam. Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Udabadagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tam Sachivam. Sadhvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Sri Vishakhanidam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gauranki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauri Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishta Bhudale Srimati Lokanath Swami Dinamine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishta Bhudale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshikarane. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So this is a very wonderful section in the second chapter, and pretty much Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is establishing the who is the Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is quoting from various Bhagavatam verses, especially from how Brahmadev surrendering to the Supreme Lord. Everybody knows that the wonderful pastimes of Brahma Vimohana Leela. Anybody knows what is Brahma Vimohana Leela? Anybody would like to say a few words about Brahma Vimohana Leela?
Yes, Prabhuji. Brahma wanted to test Krishna, that Krishna is a real cowhead boy or he is real Krishna himself. So he had a doubt. So he came to the Vrindavan and saw that Krishna was playing with his friend and cows and everything going on. So he decided to steal the Krishna's cows and Goas, his friends. So he stole for him to test him whether he's really a Krishna. Then after he comes back, after one day of Krishna, of Brahma, he comes back and then he saw the same cows were there and same Goa is there. So he was surprised and then he felt that he is really a Krishna. And then he prays to the Krishna that I have done a mistake and please forgive me. And he does the prayer. Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Madaji. It's a wonderful, hearing from you. So nice. So, but there is also very most significant things happen during this pastime. Anybody remembers what is that? The most significant things happened. Who was actually all this gopas and the cows and what was the form of this covered boys and the cows? It was a Krishna's expansion himself. The expansion himself, and who were they? All of them. What was their form? What was their identity? You heard it every times.
All boys and like all calves, everything. Like he just
Yes, Krishna is expanded. But what Balaram could see when Balaram saw these old cows and cows, what Balaram saw? They were very lovable.
They were producing more milk, more affectionate.
More affectionate.
The mothers,
Okay.
are more affectionate towards the cowherd boys and things like that were happening, and which was exceptional.
Right. But I'm missing one point of here. That's what is, this, especially Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami brought this point here in this chapter, quoting these wonderful pastimes of the Lord. Anybody would want to try?
Like we are thinking about fourth dimension, right, Prabhuji?
Okay, right, okay.
But here, in Krishna himself, in that form, all these forms are like Krishna himself.
Okay. So here is the crux of it, right? So here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami establishing the principle Sri Krishna is superior to Narayana. Okay. So what was the form of these cows and the gopas and these cows? How did Balaram saw? In four-handed Vishnu form. Narayan forms. Anybody remembers that? So Krishna, so all of them are the four-handed Vishnu forms, Narayanas. And who created all these Narayana?
Krishna.
Krishna. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is establishing this principle. Supreme Lord Krishna is the supreme, even supreme to Narayana. So many times this doubts comes into our, or the many questions people ask. Narayana is the supreme, Krishna is just an incarnation. But no, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. And then all the other plenary expansions of Krishna, as the Narayana, the form of Narayana, even the Purushas, comes from that Narayana is also the expansions or plenary portions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the point Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is establishing here. We should always
attached with the Maya.
Hmm?
All these three Purushas are attached with the Maya.
Yes, yes.
While Krishna is not attached with the Maya,
Not
he's above them.
Above that, yes. That's where that we are coming to this point, these verses, and then two more verses further. So in this chapter, especially 28 to 66, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is establishing this principle that Sri Krishna is superior to Narayana. But in the can you little bit explain? Anybody is there that can explain what is the difference between Krishna and Narayana? How do you see it? How do you understand it?
He has a four hand. This one has a two hand. He carries four things in the hand. Padma.
Yes, Shanga Padma, right? Gada Padma, Shanga Chakra, Gada Padma.
Chakran.
Yes, you got 100 marks, Nirumadaji. Yeah, 100 marks. Yes, that's exactly. He's identical. That's what it is we can see, we can understand from this pastime. So Krishna expanded himself, right? Krishna expanded himself, but in different forms. So that different forms, we call it as Narayana, but it is identical. This is Krishna's potency, Krishna's expansion. So this is where we have to see this. So Narayana, even Krishna is superior to Narayana, but in, identical to Narayana, but in different forms, different features. So that's the way we can say that even in the Brahma, praying to the Lord, Brahma is praying to the Supreme Lord that, O Lord of the Lords, you are the seer of all creation. Brahma is praying. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not therefore my father, Narayana or Narayana? So now Brahma is also bewildered, right? Brahma is also bewildered. Brahma is also requesting or revealing to that, okay, you are not that Narayana. So this is little what is called, the intrinsic, very intrinsic, understanding is that the difference between Narayana and Krishna, yes, in identity, it's identical in one sense, in the potency and all those things, but in the features are different. In one sense, Narayana, Krishna, there is not much differences. So sometimes it says that, when a judge come to the court, he has specific function to do. But that same judge comes to home, plays with the children, then it is a different relishing, atmosphere, relishing, moments of it. Then the same judge in the court has over reverences. So similarly, Krishna, when he expand himself for some portions, or when he come to that level, come to that incarnation, in identity, in identical, in potency, everything is same, but he has certain functions to do. So this is what is the difference between Narayana and Krishna. Narayana come here to do some specific function. Who is that Narayana? Just from the Narayana, all the Purusha incarnations come. So Narayana, it is very well mentioned into the further verses. So we can discuss that also. So it is mentioned that Narayana refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara. Right? Abode is the water, and the born from Nara, that Narayana is your plenary portion. See, Brahma, even considering Narayana is my father, but also Brahma is saying that the Narayana is also the plenary portion of the Supreme Lord. And that Narayana who resides into the water. So that is from the Lord himself, that the water comes and it's manifesting from the Lord, and Lord himself lies down there in the water. So it is mentioned that it is Narayana, that means one who lies down in the water. That's why he is also known as the Narayana. So sometimes people have this one: who is Vishnu, then who is Narayana? So there is slight difference. And also the Vishnu, the Purusha incarnation, is manifesting from Narayana. That's why then there is Karanodakshaya Vishnu, there is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and there is Shirodakshaya Vishnu. These all various manifestations of that Narayana. That's why everybody has these different forms of the water. Karanodakshaya Vishnu also is in the Karana Jala, Shirodakshaya Vishnu in the milk, and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is also lies down in the Garbhodaga ocean, or the filled with water. Is all various manifestations of even Narayana. So that's why these features are there, these aspects are there. So then we can say that there is also another concept called Narayana, Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means the root cause of everything, or the Anda. See, like we can say that this is much later part of it. From the Narayana is comes, this Hiranyagarbha comes, right? Then Karanodakshaya Vishnu, from the Karanodakshaya Vishnu, the universe manifesting. But in order to create all this, there is another aspect called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means the root seed, the original seed. This Garbha means womb. Hiranyagarbha means that the original womb. And also sometimes Brahma is also considered as Hiranyagarbha. Brahma is also addressed as Hiranyagarbha. But actually, Hiranyagarbha means the original seed, the original egg of everything, that from there everything manifests. This is a little, technical, little deep and intrinsic. So we don't need to be so much worried about all these things. But what we can understand, these are the various manifestations of that Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. This is what is we have to understand. So Brahma says, all your plenary portions are transcendental, absolute, and not creations of Maya. This is where we have to understand. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that, when Krishna says to Arjuna that Bhumirapo Nalo Vayu Kammano Buddhirevacha Ahangaramidiyame Bhinna Pragradrashtadaga. That means earth, water, fire, air, ether, and the mind, intelligence, and false ego is our my separated energy, or my inferior energy, separated energy of Krishna. So that is, we generally call it as the material energy or the inferior energy. But beyond that inferior energy, there is a superior energy. That's why Krishna says in the next chapter, next verse, that Apareyam idastu manyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabhago ed tareyat jagat. Says that Apareyam idastu manyam prakritim vidime param. From this material nature, there is another transcendental nature, that is superior nature. So this is where we are considering as the fourth dimensions of it, transcendental nature. So everything has a transcendental nature, dear devotees. Don't think that, okay, what we see here in this material world is everything. No, that is not the fact. So I always think that whenever I, go morning to the temple or somewhere, lots of these animals like rats or deer, everything I saw that today, the car goes to one of the deer or something, it's scattered like anything, the body. I was wondering that this, many times even that. So everything is there, even the car hit on a deer, it is fall down and died. Everything is there, but the deer is not there. It's just a lump of flesh. What exactly made that deer is that's the spirit soul. That spirit soul, that from that spirit soul, everything, the body, everything manifested. So the spirit soul is the seed of everything. Similarly, dear devotees, that entire cosmic creation is just by that the Lord, that the seed of that super soul. So deer comes from that the seed of that spirit soul, and the manifested soul is in this world. Similarly, the entire cosmic creations is manifested from that the seed of that the super soul, Paramatma. So this is where the transcendental realm, this is where the fourth dimensions. So this is where that everything manifests from that supreme potency. And that supreme potency manifested in various ways. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam says that Parasya Shaktir Vivideva Suyade Parasya Shaktir. Right? The Parasya, the supreme potency is manifest. That's why exactly Krishna is saying that Apare Midaswanyam Pragatim. Beyond this material nature, there is another superior nature of me. That is what is this jiva. All the jivas are also transcendental to this material nature. That's why every scripture, everybody, all the Lord Himself is telling to us that we have a spiritual nature. We have a spiritual identity. That's our spiritual identity is known as that we are spirit soul. So beyond this, that's why beyond this material nature, there is a spiritual nature. That's all living entities are part of that spiritual nature. No doubt into that. So like this, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami putting very that, establishing that the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we saw that the pastimes of Brahma Vimohana, Brahma then also, revealing that, and Narayana and the Vishnus are all expansions of Krishna. So this is the supreme position of Krishna, dear devotees. So that's why Brahma is telling, he was addressing Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Karanam. Dear devotees, we should by heart this verse. How many of you know this verse, one particular verse, the first two words of this Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter? What is that? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Can you repeat after me? If you can unmute and repeat
Ishvara Parama Krishna
Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda
Anadiradir Govinda
Sarva Karana Karanam.
Sarva Karanam Karanam.
Can anybody give that the explanation of it, the meaning of it? Can you give the meaning of this verse?
Ishwar is Krishna is the Sachidanand Roop, Adi Purusha, and he is also original Sarva Karanam Karanam. Original
source.
Yeah.
I cannot explain in English. I can say in Hindi.
Okay.
Cause of all causes.
He is cause of all causes.
He is the cause of all the causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Ishvara Parama Krishna is the supreme controller. Who is that supreme controller? The supreme personality of Godhead called Sri Krishna is the cause of all the causes. Anadir, he is the original and he is everlasting. Anadir, he is the Govinda. That is, he is known as Govinda, one who gives pleasure to the cows. Anadir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam, he is the cause of all the causes. We should have this in our heart all the time, dear devotees. So this way, and then, last few verses were explaining about that. Who is those Narayana? Who is that Purusha incarnations? Plenary portions of Narayana. This is Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and we heard this many, many times. But this verse is revealing that Krishna's Turiya, the transcendental nature, or the fourth dimension. So the Purushas basically have the relationship with the Maya, or this material nature, right? Relationship in the sense that, who is controlling this, who is maintaining this entire cosmic creation? Can anybody say who is maintaining this entire cosmic creations?
Krishna,
but Krishna's which expansion? Krishna expands, right?
Vishnu is maintaining.
Krishna is maintaining, but
which expansion?
Cosmic creations, this material nature, who maintains this material nature or these cosmic creations? Yes, Vishnu, right? There are three aspects. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara.
Brahma is a creator, Vishnu is a maintainer.
Creator, and secondary creator, we can say. Vishnu is the maintainer, and Shiva is the annihilator. Okay, so these aspects of it, right? So how Vishnu is maintaining this world? That's why we have these three aspects of Vishnu. Which are those three aspects? Which are those three aspects? Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. That's what is mentioning here. The Virat, the Hiranyagarbha, and the Karana. You understand this now? So, in order to maintain this material world, the Lord Himself expands in various, Purusha incarnations. That is called Virat Purusha, Hiranyagarbha, and Karana. Karanodakshaya Vishnu. Hiranyagarbha is considered as the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu here. And then Virat Purusha, right? The complete whole, Narayana. So, this way, Lord maintains it. So, but even though Lord maintains this, and this was one of the questions Parishit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami. Even though Lord maintains, Lord enters into everything. How do you explain that Lord enters into everything? Can anybody say how Lord enters into everything? How can you explain? We heard this many times.
Again, Prabhuji, the Garbhodaksha Vishnu, right? He enters into all the universes. And then the Karuna, no, the Kshirodaksha, he enters as Paramatma.
Paramatma. And then he enters
into Jivatma, all Jivatma.
All Jivatma, and then he enters into where? And enters into where? He enters into each and every atom.
Atom, yes.
Each and every atom.
Atom, yes.
Yes. So this is the way he enters into it. But he is material. Is he material? Can anything touch? And just for an example, we are taking some lamp of, say a small lamp. Okay? For an example, to understand this fact. We are taking a small lamp and going to the sun globe. Okay? What happens to this small lamp? Will it have any effect on the sun globe if we take a little lamp to the sun? There is no effect at all.
No, not at all.
Right. Similarly, that. Just understand this. So similarly, the Lord is completely aloof from everything, even though Lord exists. This is what is also Ajindya Bheda Abheda Tattva. Simultaneously, one and at the same time is different. So this is a wonderful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed this. Nobody else revealed this. Everybody else revealed that, okay, no, Lord is just everything, just one. Somebody say, no, there are two, things like that. Separate. Lord is different, material nature is different. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only revealed this very transcendental truth that, no, it's not, yes, it's true that there is two things are there, but Lord is also there in everything. At the same time, Lord is also separate from it. So this is where that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Achindya Bheda Tattva, should understand this. So when the Lord is separate from it, that is called the fourth dimension or Turiya or the transcendental nature. All the other natures we consider as the three other modes, three other dimensions. That's called the Sattva, Rajo, and Tamo gunas, the different other dimensions of it. See how this material nature functions, and he maintains it. The Supreme Lord Vishnu maintains it everything in such a fashion, but he is aloof from it. So this is the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. So that's what it is mentioned here. Even though Lord maintains various forms, Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Karana, but Lord is not involved. Lord is not affected by it. Lord is not entangled by it, by this material energy or called Maya. That's why Krishna is revealing in the Bhagavad Gita that this material nature is my separated energy. My separated energy or material energy. And just for an example, we can understand this very clearly. Like when there is a fire, right? So from the fire, the heat manifests, and from the fire, the light manifests. So when we say heat or a light of the fire, we don't say that the light is fire, isn't it? Yeah, do you agree with me? The fire is a separate entity completely as whole. But what we can say that the fire and the light and the heat is the byproduct, or is a separate form of that the same, which comes from that the fire. You understand it?
Yes. Original is the fire.
Originally is the fire. So just for an example, okay, we are taking this light to the fire. Can any effect on the fire? No, there is no effect on the fire. Or we are taking this heat and again bringing back to the fire. Will there be any effect on the fire? There is no effect on the fire, but it's coming from the fire. So similarly, souls coming from the Lord, but there is no that involvement in the sense that Lord is not affected by any of this material nature. So that's why whatever we do in this material world, dear devotees, will not impact on our spirit soul, in the sense that because of everything is a temporary, it's a byproduct. So what we see in this material world, this cosmic universe, is nothing but the byproduct of that, the spiritual nature. This is temporarily created and which is maintained by the Lord Vishnu. That doesn't mean that the Lord is completely entangled by this material nature. The Lord is beyond this material nature, or Lord is beyond these three dimensions. You understand it now?
Yes.
So Lord is aloof from it. Lord is aloof from it. So this is where that our nature too. This is where we have to understand this fact. We are also, even though that's why Jiva Bhuta Mahabhago, that beyond this material nature, there is superior. That's what is we are belongs to. That's what Srila Prabhupada says that. All living entities are belongs to the superior nature of the Lord. We are not inferior nature, but when this spirit soul, when this Jivatma come in contact with this inferior nature, it is an incompatible situation. It is an incompatible. That's why this birth, death, old age, disease, this is because of that incompatible situation that is all happening. Birth, death, old age, and diseases, all this. But on the other hand, when we are compatible, when we are in contact with that superior nature, that's the compatible situation. That's our original situation with the Lord. That's a compatible situation. So similarly, we have that when we are in this material, that's why we are separated energy, we are separate from the Lord, is known as Tadastha Shakti, marginal potency. We are entangled here. We are affected by this material nature, but Lord doesn't affect by this material nature. We also have this transcendental nature. That's why we have to practice this. We have to come in contact with that superior nature. When we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, we are coming in contact with that transcendental nature, or that Turiya, or the fourth dimension. When we chant the holy name, we are coming in contact with that spiritual nature, that fourth dimension. When we engage in the loving service of the Lord, we are coming in contact. This way, we will slowly come out from our material nature, or entanglement of this material nature. Then what happens? Then we also attain, this is called, dear devotees, come outing or transcendental. We are transcending these modes of material nature. You're understanding that? The transcending the modes of nature, or transcending, or we are coming out, we are just crossing over this material ocean. So this is what it is all about. So only by this process of when in contact with, like just for an example, a fire, when there is some iron rods, there are some iron rods or some iron pieces. So we put it in the fire. What happens? After some time, this iron rod, we cannot distinguish, differentiate that the iron rod is there inside the fire. It's very difficult because of the iron rod is completely transformed to the fire. Then what happens? Then that has all the quality of the fire, the iron rod. What was? It was inside the fire. That's it. Nothing else. But when it was outside of the fire, it didn't have any quality of the fire. But even though it has that intrinsic, everything is lying down, everything is dormant. But as soon as when you put it into the fire, it started to come out. And it's completely transforms to the fire. Later, we cannot say that, which one is iron rod, is fire. It's very difficult to find out even within the fire. So similarly, we have that nature. And many times, I mentioned this, when you churn the yogurt, initially we cannot see that there is butter. Initially we cannot realize that there is a butter, but we know that when you churn the yogurt, so eventually what happens is butter manifests. And then what happens, you can see that all the water, everything, that's why this buttermilk comes out of it. But out of that, the yogurt, the butter manifested, Now what happens? Now butter cannot even touch with the water. Even though butter is within the yogurt milk, it doesn't touch with the water. But it was there in the water. But now it cannot even touch the water. Similarly, a lotus in the water. Lotus comes out from the water, and if the seed is down there and it comes through the water, but the lotus leaf doesn't touch with the water. Lotus leaf doesn't touch with the water. Similarly, the Lord's position is like that. Even though it is there, it doesn't touch with the material energy, doesn't touch with the Maya. So our nature is also like that. That even though we are into this material body, in the material world, we can also come to that position. That's why Jivatma or Tadastha Shakti, that we have that opportunity, we have that free will, that we want to be completely involved by this, completely covered by this material energy is also possible. At the same time, we can also come out from how the butter comes out from the yogurt. Similarly, we can also come out from this material energy and have our spiritual potency and spiritual spark. Everything can be. Then we can also, even within this material world, we can be completely aloof from this material energy. And it will not influence us. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mahatmanam stumam partam devim prakritimasadaha. Mahatma, the great devotees, are under my protection. Mahatmanam stumam partam devim prakritimasadaha. So Devim Prakriti, that's Mahatma, great devotees are under the protection of Devim Prakriti, that is what is spiritual realm or spiritual potency. So this is what is we need to understand from these verses, the devotees. So this is the way that we can come to that stage. So then we are completely free from all this material energy, then it will not contaminate us, it will not influence us, it will not affect us. So that's why devotees are never, the too much attached to this material world. They are kind of free from it. The happiness, distress, it's all same for them. It's not that too much. It's they know what it is all about, but they are completely kind of transcend to that modes of nature. They came to that the transcendental nature of same as the Supreme Lord. So this is what it is. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is as Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning about that. Krishna's nature and is Krishna himself, not different from Krishna. And then all we need to do is actually don't, kind of seeing that, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is manifested, he is a kind of an ordinary, how he can create this world. He is Supreme Lord himself, but the Lord came here just to get everybody, transform everybody to that spiritual nature. Lord came in this world not to kill or anything, not to do any, kind of raising the earth from the mud or, killing so many of demons in this world. No. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was that's why Chana Avadar, very confidential incarnation, confidential manifestations of the Lord, external reason, internal reasons. We will see that all. But that the Supreme, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, not different from him. So, and he is that on this transcendental, completely transcendental beyond this material world. So then the 54th verse says that although these three features of the Lord deal directly with the material energy, none of them are touched by it. As I mentioned, that they are beyond illusion, right? And then that means the Lord's different other parts like Hiranyagarbha, Virat Purusha, and Karana, it doesn't touch with this material world. And the 55th verse, it's mentioned that this is the opulence of the Lord. Although situated in the material nature, he is never affected by the modes of nature. Similarly, those who have surrendered to him and fixed their intelligence upon him are not influenced by the mode of nature. This is the point, dear devotees. Always remember. So everybody can come to that transcendental stage. Now, surrendered to him and fixed their intelligence upon him are not influenced modes of nature. This Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Tasmas sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmeri yuddhaja mayarpida manobuddhir mame vashyasi asamshayaha. Krishna says this word. Oh Arjuna, do your duty, but your mind and intelligence, surrender unto me. Mayarpida manobuddhir. You surrender your mind and intelligence to me, but you do your duty at the same time. So this is another, aspect of it. Even though we are in this material world, then we have to perform our duty, but our mind, our intelligence, mayarpida manobuddhir, and thus you will come to me, no doubt. Asamsheha, mame vaishyasi asamsheha, Krishna says in this one, 7th chapter. So similarly, dear devotees, when we surrendered unto him and fixed our intelligence upon him, then this material nature will not influence us. So this is the key of it, that always remember this. So we can be all goes to that transcendental stage. That's why we can transcend these modes of material nature. Come to that our original nature. That's our original spiritual nature is our original nature. It's very beautiful, very wonderful. And it's an absolute nature. So what we have it is here in this birth, death, old age, disease, and all is actually because of this modes of material nature, because of the material nature we are going through, because of we are completely influenced by this material nature. But the moment we come out of this influence of this material nature, then there is no more birth, there is no more death, there is no more old age, no more diseases, no more suffering, no more dualities in this world. We goes beyond all these modes and comes to that our transcendental nature. So this is, as Bhagavatam says, that the 3 by 4 is transcendental nature. All this Lord's creation, 3 by 4 is transcendental nature or the spiritual nature or this fourth dimension, dear devotees, beyond this material nature. So that's what is we are belongs to actually. The reason I was giving that example of that the deer which lies down dead, actual original that the potency is gone. Nothing to do with that body now anymore. But that doesn't mean that now that deer owes that the potency is in the form of spirit, and this is there, and then the spirit is now not contaminated, not in the body of the dead deer. If the spirit is there in the dead deer, it is not dead anymore, it's alive. The moment that the spirit from that body gone, it is dead. So this is where that we have to understand. So the spirit soul, the jivatma, when it is covered and contaminated with various these modes of material nature, it gets the different bodies. Then as per that they have to enjoy or suffer. They go through these various bodies. The moment it leaves that, the jivatma leave this body, then it is dead. And it's not anymore. Then it takes another birth or something, as per their karma, as per their desires. Similarly, we are also going through this material world, life after life after life after life. The moment we surrender to the Supreme Lord, engage in His service, a loving devotional service, and fixing our mind in the Supreme Lord, intelligence upon Him that's fixing, then we'll come out of it. We'll not have any more birth and death in this material world. We'll go back to Krishna. We'll go back to that our original nature, the transcendental nature. We will belongs to that Supreme Lord. That's why we all have spiritual body. We all have spiritual nature. We all have spiritual body. That spiritual body, that spirit soul has the spiritual body. Krishna has beautiful spiritual body. Everything about Krishna is completely spiritual. And that beautiful form of Shyama Sundara form. Shyamam Drbangalalidam Niyada Prakasham Govinda. Brahma is seeing this. Brahma is completely transformed and purified. Brahma could see that the Lord's form, beautiful form. This is the Bhagavan aspect of it. This is what is Brahma exactly seeing this. My Lord, transcendental beautiful form of the Lord Shyama Sundara. Only when we come out of this material entanglement, we transcend these modes of nature by the practice of our bhakti, then we come to that stage, dear devotees, where we can directly see that the Supreme Lord, the beautiful form of the Lord, and that beautiful realm of this transcendental realm, that's the fourth dimension's realm, and there we can see everything. So this is what is, it's revealed here. So let me stop here with this note. Thank you so much for joining, and please continue to join to understand this transcendental science. It's so beautiful, wonderful. Hare Krishna. Let me stop here. Let me see anybody has any questions or any concerns or comments. Anybody would like to add anything? Any comments? Any questions?
Pranam, nice class. You have explained very well that fourth dimension. We understood that.
Yeah.
In a sleep also we say awakened stage, sleep, dream, and fourth Turiya Avastha. Is the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, we can say, see, even in the words, it's transcendental state. Like, see the there is a nidra and jagrada, and then swapna.
And then dream.
Yeah. Then there is a then samadhi, like very deep state of it. So what happens here when there is a nidra? That means our subtle body is also pretty much awake, right? That's awake. That's jagrada. Jagrada means our subtle body is awake, but our gross body is kind of not functioning, or means it's kind of shut down. But subtle body is active. Then Swapna. Swapna means what we can say, that dreaming state, right? The dreaming state, half of it, our body and the subtle body is kind of shut down, and then we kind of goes deep into it, right? Then that is what is then Ghada, the deep, the samadhi state of it. That's where we come out. Our body completely shut down, the gross level as well as subtle level. Now it is comes to that very deep level of our original transcendental. That's called Turiya. That's called Turiya. That's the transcendental stage of it. That means our spiritual level of it. So it uses in various places. Yes.
In Turiya Avastha, consciousness is there. While
consciousness
in a dream
is
and sleep,
on this.
We are unconscious almost.
Yeah, exactly. So on the Turiya level, that our consciousness is completely on the spiritual level, the transcendental level, right? On the unconscious, even that what is called completely, we are then our subtle body and the gross body pretty much shut down of it, unconscious state. So when it comes to that, then whenever that we goes beyond from the gross body, from the subtle body, and we come to our spiritual body, right? That is where the samadhi state of samadhi, we completely absorbed into that our spiritual nature. And this is also called Turiya state, samadhi state, or full of that spiritual consciousness, not the material consciousness. When we are living in this body, or when we are awake, we are completely material consciousness. Completely material consciousness. But when we are not on that consciousness, that's why we come to see, we say that unconscious state. We are not aware of any of this material aspects, material. But that is not the end of it. But it goes beyond. When we come to that state of, the complete state of that, or the transcendental state, or the spiritual state, that we can realize in such a way that we are spirit soul. That's the samadhi state of it. Or deep, generally sometimes people say deep sleep. Deep sleep means there is no gross and that's settled. It's pretty much shut down there.
And these three Purusha, it's a Vilasa expansion of the Krishna Bhagavan.
Vilasa expansion.
So that's why it is attached with the Maya, while Krishna himself no Maya. He's a Maya se pare.
Yeah, I mean, it's connected. Yes, it's connected with this material nature. That's a Vilasa. Yes, but they are not under the influence of Maya at all. Right? They belongs to the material. They, in order to maintain this material nature, they have this Vilasa forms, Vilasa Prakasha, and then not completely, not influenced at all by this material energy or Maya. Maya is subordinate to the Supreme Lord. We know that, right? Maya is subordinate to Supreme. That's right. Maya is the inferior energy of the Supreme Lord. Okay? It's always there. Maya is always ready to serve the Supreme Lord.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I am just trying to clarify something.
Yes,
so
please.
You said there's a very little difference between Narayana and Vishnu, and all Vishnus come from Narayana, right?
Yes, yes.
And then Krishna, I don't know, in one of the classes I heard he is the original Narayana or something, like somebody used some word, I don't know, before Narayana, one of the classes, I'm not sure. So you said there was like Mataji, Niru Mataji said, and like I also like we know that the arms are different, right? Krishna has two arms, and right. But one of the classes, I think Govardhan Prabhu's classes, they were mentioning, I don't know, like the difference between Krishna and I don't know the Vishnus or Narayana, that about the Venu Madhuri, Prema Madhuri, and all that.
Yeah. Yes. 64 qualities and 60 qualities. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, the four specific things they said.
Yeah.
Prema Madhuri.
That's the 4 additional.
Oh, those are the four additional.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Narayana has 64. Krishna has, I know. But Narayana is 60.
60, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's what my confusion was. Okay. All right.
Narayana has 60 qualities.
Okay, because when you said that's the only bodily differences, I was wondering where these four then, because what we, like did in the class today, we just mentioned that the arms are different, right?
Yeah.
So then I said, I did hear that these four things were different. So that's okay. I get it now. I get it, Prabhuji.
So we know that in the Krishna Leela, right, when the gopis were trying to search the Krishna transformed himself to 400 Vishnu form. Then what happens? Gopis were searching, they come, they saw there is 400 Krishna, 400 Vishnu is sitting there. They didn't even bother about. So then later Krishna just removed all these four hands and become completely transformed to two hand forms, right?
Could not deceive the gopis.
Exactly. Yeah. So this way, and when we look at Vishnu, of course, it's expansion of Krishna and different, in identity or in the potency or in identity, we can say that there's not much difference. When it comes to kala or amshas or the qualities of it, right? Rama has specific qualities, Narasimha has specific qualities, Varaha has specific qualities, and all the incarnations have specific qualities. Depends upon what functions the Lord is going to perform. Similarly, Krishna is the supreme, he's the original, and there is nothing beyond that. So he's the topmost.
That is very clear. Yeah, that is
nothing beyond that. So even if you compare Krishna and Vishnu, then there are four other qualities that Krishna has. Krishna supersedes the four other qualities. That's Prema Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, and then Krishna's, the color, right? The Rupa Madhuri.
Yes, Rupa Madhuri, yes.
So like that. So this is very exclusive for, Krishna
himself. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like about when the Krishna movie came out, like a long time back. They always show like Lord Vishnu standing and Krishna at the bottom, so it's confusing. So I always like when I was a child, I thought it was Vishnu and Krishna is coming, like Krishna is a form of Vishnu. I think most people thought that only because that's what we saw as we were, like now it's becoming more and more clear, that it's just the, like the other way around.
Yes. Yeah, because of I think this is we had various schools of thoughts, right? You know that even in our India, in Bharat, there are various schools of thoughts, and they came up with various kinds of interpretations for the scriptures. Not understanding, but because of course, our Sanatana Dharma has voluminous of scriptures, but like 18 Puranas, 4 Vedas, and Mahabharata, and Idigas, and Upanishads, and there are Aranyakas and Vaisheshikas. There's so many scriptures and volumes of it. And then basically what it tells to the people is that, yes, these are the various forms of the Lord, different forms of the Lord. And in one sense, they say that, okay, this is all manifestation of the Supreme Lord. At the same time, they also wanted to proclaim and put that, okay, even it is a manifestation of Supreme Lord, this is Supreme Lord himself. So this is where this confusion people got into that. Even though they didn't understand very properly Ajindya Veda Vedato simultaneously one and the different, but they interpreted or misinterpreted in such a way that, okay, they may say, okay, we can worship anything that's same as Lord. There is no difference. Or you can worship this one, that is same as. So there are various types of worship manifest. There is called Pancha Puja. There is, Dvaita Siddhanta, then Advaita Siddhanta. Then there is, Vishishta Advaita. There are so many various, this system and the schools of thoughts and the procedures and the worship. So many manifest. Shaktayas, Vaishnavas, Shaivas, and so many ways. So this confused the people. This made lots of damage to the our original understanding. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for this one reason. When Advaita Acharya saw that lots of Abha Sampradaya was going on, and Advaita Acharya then talked to the Lord and called out the Lord that, oh Lord, you only can save this world. You only can reveal this to everyone. What is exactly all this about? Because of when Shankaracharya came, it was completely messed up with all this Buddhism and all. People not even believing in the Lord. When Shankaracharya came and brought back, not so many, but quite few back to the, okay, at least you follow certain things. It's called Vedas. Then they started to follow certain things. Then after Shankaracharya, then Madhavacharya came later that, okay, now at least you should have to have a form to worship the Lord. So this is the way that it's evoluted in such a way that, and then Advaita Acharya then prayed to the Lord that you only come and reveal this transcendental truth. And see that what happens within 500 years. All world is now understanding who is the Supreme Lord. Even other faiths are understanding that who is the Supreme Lord, that is Krishna. And then all the expansion, the potencies, various aspects, and at the various expansions, incarnations, various time, everything is bringing together. And who brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy on the commander-in-chief of that, supreme commander-in-chief of the army of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada put everything together, all these Vedic, scriptures and essence and understanding, put it in such a beautiful and easy to understand form, translated to the 1,800 plus languages everywhere, all over the world, which is now simply floating, and everybody pretty much access to this, and even through the internet, and everybody can understand. If you search on who is the Supreme Lord, you will get the answer is Krishna. So this is the this is a potency. So yes, this is there, but that's why Acharya is manifesting, Lord manifesting himself, and so that it reveals that the truth to the world. And that's why we are so fortunate. We are connected to that such a the Srila Prabhupada and the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that the mission of it. And our mission is this one, to understand first of all ourselves, that who is that Supreme Lord, and then propagate this to others. This is our mission. So yes, thank you, Mataji, bringing that point. So wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for explaining so well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. Anything else? Anybody else like to add anything? Any other comments?
Prabhuji, I have to leave. I'm sorry.
Yes, no problem, Mataji.
Okay.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Okay. Anybody else? Any other point?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam. All worship Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, can you talk about the Yoga Nidra of the Supreme
Lord
Vishnu? And yeah, I think we also celebrate between two Ekadasis.
Two Ekadasis,
Yoga Nidra.
Uttana Ekadashi and the Shayana Ekadashi, right?
Yeah. So is there any special, what that Yoga Nidra means? And
first of all, it's not regular Nidra. It says Yoga Nidra. Yoga means what? Yoga means to connect, unite. So what Lord does actually, yes. See, Lord has absolute, He's complete, in one sense that Lord is always relishing in His pastimes. Lord doesn't need to come here and, take a stick in His hand and say that you do this, you do this, you do this. So Lord, by that yoga, by that meditation, by that potency, by that the power, everything works. Everything works. So this is another aspect of the Lord, in another feature of the Lord, another that how we can see the Lord. See, everything about the Lord is that His various functions, various aspects, various features, various potencies, various energies, right? That's what it is when we say that thousands of demigods are all the time glorifying the Supreme Lord. The Lord lies down, recline on the Ananda Shesh. They are glorifying with such a Vedic sutta. It's called Purusha Sutta. They are glorifying Sahasra Chirsha Purushaha. This is one aspect of it. Lord is lying down there in his half closed his eyes, right? Half closed his eyes. And then, Lord is hearing this one. And similarly, this is another type of yoga nidra. That means Lord is completely awake. At the same time, Lord is relishing that the various services devotees perform, right? And then, of course, that's a Shayana. We call it as Shayana in the sense Lord is sleeping. We say, Lord, this is called the transcendental slumber or transcendental sleep. But Lord does not, there is no need to Lord to sleep. That means, okay, people sleep in this world so that they can rejuvenate. But Lord is complete. Lord is absolute. There is no need of the Lord to sleep so that he gets some energy back to that. No. So any act of the Lord is a transcendental activity. Any transcendental activity for the Lord is actually to relish the ananda, to relish that the pleasure potency within himself. You understand that? So relishing that within the pleasure potency within him. Ananda Ambudya Vardhanam. This is the nature of the Lord. That's why Sachit Ananda, the Ananda potency of the Lord. And who is actually that Ananda potency? This is Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani is the predominant deity or the Ananda potency of the Lord, the pleasure potency of the Lord. And then it's a functioning like that. So whenever Lord, close his eyes, what Lord is doing? Lord is meditating upon all the devotees. And all these wonderful pastimes, activities of the devotees. Lord meditating upon the devotees of the Lord. So by just meditating on that Lord is even with the devotees. At the same time, Lord is also relishing that the transcendental pleasure which arises derived from that the transcendental service devotees performs. The devotees always perform the Lord to please the Lord. Lord is relishing all this by meditating upon them. And of course, yoga nidra means, of course, if you go to Goloka Vrindavan, Lord has very wonderful other pastimes. He goes to the cows, he takes the cows, he goes to the forest, Vrindavan, and he's transcendental pleasure in so many other ways. Yoga Maya, arranges everything there. Here, on the other hand, when the Lord lies down on the recliner, that's the Garbhodaksha Vishnu lies down and half closed his eyes. At the same time, meditating upon the devotees and being with the devotees and relishing that. So this way that Lord is exhibiting his pastimes as a transcendental slumber or yoga nidra. Yoga means to connect, or yoga, that means to home with his devotees. He's meditating upon his devotees. Is it?
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Nice. Anything else? Anybody else? Any other comments? Any other realization before we conclude? Okay. So thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining today. So let's conclude. Let's pray together. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Vidirashi Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Gaudi Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.